Alrighty. Ding, ding, ding. Welcome to It's a Fight. Probably the greatest fight podcast. It's an accumulation of two masters at masturbating. Just kidding. Welcome to It's a Fight. I'm Dylan, and this is my dude,
Dakota. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet everybody. We are here talking about probably, for me, one of the greatest fight cards ever. And I know I said that about the last one, but because it was. And I don't think they disappointed. And I have to say, I've been watching a lot of stuff about people talking about Kamaru Usman and the way he fought Masvidal.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this isn't about that, but I have to say, I am sick and tired of people saying how boring it was. And I think I was explaining this, or we were both kind of explaining this to Ellie. When we were watching the fight, she was like, well, he's just holding him down, and he wasn't hitting him in the beginning, and then he's like, push him up in the cage, and he's hitting his foot. And she's like, isn't that annoying? Isn't that like, why are they doing it? It was a little confused, and almost like, it probably wasn't and in the beginning, it wasn't an exciting fight for her.
No.
Because she's like, it wasn't a lot of like throwing down and craziness.
Really getting bloody or anything like that.
It was Kamaru Usman dominating Masvidal. Yeah. That's what that was.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, right? Like, and everybody keeps saying it, but Errol Hawani was saying on his podcast that he was like, well, if Kamaru Usman went out and stood and traded with Masvidal and lost, everybody would have been looking at him on Sunday, and they would have been like, what an idiot.
Yeah, no,
the dude standing and
there to fight, and he was there to win.
He's there to fight. That's why he's the champion.
You know?
Exactly. That is why he's the champion. And those foot stomps, they're annoying. They have hard feet.
Thing, you know?
You know what I mean? They're not going to break their foot. They could. But these people kick heavy bags, and I don't know if you guys have ever kicked the bottom of a heavy bag, but you could break your foot.
Sand or whatever you put in
everything goes on a heavy bag. The higher you go, the easier it is to punch it. Mm. And the lower you go, it's
like
solid.
Concrete.
Yeah, it's like hitting a bag of concrete. And these guys do this for a living. So I think his feet are good. Yeah. And I think in an interview, he was even dancing around after. He's like, my feet are good. Those shots are annoying. But what Kamaru Usman did was he dominated. He made all that trash talk that Masvidal did, everything. Oh, you're not going to wrestle me down. You're not going to do this. Masvidal had a camp. He keeps saying, like, oh, well, yeah, the travel was a lot. And if anything, the travel was, if you're a fighter, it's a mindset. But it's like, yeah, the travel for the weight cut is a big deal. Right?
Yeah.
The
you're
2 weeks.
Losing a lot of weight.
The 2 weeks notice or 1 week notice, whatever it is, 2 weeks notice, it's a weight cut issue.
Yeah.
But skill-wise, Masvidal has been training his whole life for that. The dude took phone calls and fought in the backyard. And he took that fight that day. You know what I mean? You don't think he can prepare on 2 weeks? You stop taking credit against the champ. He's the champion for a reason. He's probably one of my favorite fighters because of the way he dominates people. And I just think that he made Masvidal look like a child. He was like, hey, listen, I'm the champion. And he went in there and showed him. So, enough about that. But, because it was frustrating, man. I keep seeing a lot of things, and I'm like, what? Don't take away that guy's championship. You know what I mean? And Masvidal might be a bigger star, but the reality of it is Kamaru Usman is
a better fighter.
Is a better fighter.
You know?
100%. I mean, he needs to work on his stand-up. There was some things that I was cringing at, and I was like, he was a little wild, not very technical with his striking. And you know what's crazy is that it's almost like he was so great when he fought Covington. You know what I mean? That fight, they traded. They both respected their wrestling backgrounds, and they stood there and traded. And both of them are great strikers.
I think it was just a different kind of feel, you know, 100%. Of this match, because it was more of so. Well, Usman was just going in there and proving to everybody else, you know, I don't respect you as much. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm the champ, and I'm going to show you why. Like,
and there was a moment when and Ellie brought it up and kind of made us start talking about it when she was like Usman was like basically had both of his shoulders down, pressing Masvidal's arms down, and he was holding the back of his head, and he was like, he was bringing him to him, and he was holding his head, and he was just holding him there, and Masvidal's just sitting there. He can't do anything. He's trying to move, trying to shrimp, trying to do everything. He can't move, and Ellie's like, well, why isn't he hitting him? And he was like throwing elbows and doing some things, but it wasn't frequent.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you could even see, if you go back and watch that moment, Usman is looking directly in Masvidal's eyes.
He's not even taking.
And Masvidal can't move.
Not taking
he can't go anywhere. And I think that moment in that fight is when Masvidal, because that was at the beginning of the second round or something like that.
Yep.
And when he took him down like that, almost like it's. I got to rewatch the fight, but it was like when he took him down, it was almost like Kamaru was like letting him know, like, you're my bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's like, you can't do anything right now. And then after they had that moment, then he was like, whoosh, then he was throwing some elbows, and
because of course you got to let somebody know why you're there, you know?
Yeah, and why you're the champ. And
exactly.
So Marty, Kamaru, Usman, you're the man. We love you. Anytime you want to do an interview, please, we're here for you, dog. We love you. We think you're amazing here.
Thank you,
Over
sir.
here at It's a Fight, we appreciate you. And you are an awesome champion, and we appreciate the way you win. It's not boring to us, so keep it up.
Yeah.
So now on to the fights. This week's fight on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. Geez Louise. So we can start just like before. We'll start at the top and work our way down.
Just go our way down.
So we got Robert Whittaker and Darren Till. Which we all know Whittaker stood and traded with Izzy and lost his belt. And has been kind of working it up. I think he lost his last fight to. Can't remember who he lost the last fight to. But I think his last fight, he's coming off a loss, and there you go, right there. So he lost against Adesanya. That's where he's coming off the loss to Adesanya, and Till beat Gastelum, so Till's coming in, right? And Whittaker 29, Darren Till 27. Age-wise, that's not really that big of a gap there.
Same weight, same height.
A little bit reach advantage, but again, that reach is not really that big. That's
it's an inch.
It's an inch, but Robert Whittaker.
Sometimes it matters, though.
Yeah, but you know what, though? When he fought Izzy was so much longer than he was, and that didn't matter. So, I mean, 1 inch is not going to affect.
No.
Not going to affect. No. At least Whittaker. A lot of other people it might, in respect, might affect. But Whittaker, no thanks. 5 wins by knockout, 2 for Till. So... but let's say this now, right? Because now we can take down defense. Take down 66%, 36. So, and the striking. I mean, if you're looking on this card right now,
it's pretty matched.
The odds are definitely in Whittaker's favor based on ring experience and things like that.
Oh yeah, but statistically speaking, just fighter to fighter,
they're pretty even. Sorry, guys. Every time.
But right off that. Pretty even.
No big deal. But it's gonna be a brawl.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a brawl, and I love Darren Till. I think I like the trash. I like the cockiness. Mm-hmm. I saw an interview with him and Michael Bisping, and half of it you can't even understand because they're both English.
Yeah.
And I think Darren Till's from Liverpool or something like that. Does it say where he's from? I think he's from Liverpool. But man, like when you watch like English movies, you think like Soccer Hooligans and things like that, like how the English are like gritty, you know what I mean? And they're there to fight, and that whole culture where they're fighting in the streets. And when I see that, it's like, okay, well, if this was 20 years ago, Darren Till would have been that guy fighting in the streets with his soccer hooligans, beating the crap out of people in big, huge brawls.
He would have been in Shaun of the Dead?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, he's awesome. I love his trash talk. I love his cockiness. I love that one. I know it's like one of the most famous things that he comes out to.
Right.
And he beat, who did he beat? Wonder Boy. He beat Wonder Boy, which is a huge feat, right?
Good on him.
It went the whole whatever, however many rounds, but he beat him. And the thing is, though, is he came out and he goes, well, I guess I want to ask you who's next. He goes, I'm not afraid of anybody. He's like, bring them all. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want. I want people who are just fearless and they just come in and he's ready to fight. And Whittaker has been going through some ups and downs, right? Like
he's coming off of a loss.
Coming off a loss. He also said that he was done for a little bit, and then now he's like, "Oh, mentally, I'm just not there."
I don't think he's gonna be.
Came back. This is what I think. I think Darren Till, and I think Darren Till's gonna knock him out. Now Whittaker has some serious knockout power, and Till has been can be dropped.
Oh yeah,
but so can Whittaker, right? So they both have been dropped before, so that means that they know. So it's possible, right? Their chins are weak enough to a point where if you hit them with the right shot, they're going down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just gonna be it's gonna be awesome. I can't even. My brain is exploding. It has been exploding thinking about it.
Final decision. Who do you think's gonna win?
Oh, my boy Till.
Okay.
My boy Till. Same. I don't think mentally. Same. I don't, and I could be wrong. Whittaker could be hungrier than ever, and that's what he's saying. Mm-hmm. But I think Dana White always says this, and he continues to say, he says, if you are thinking about retirement, you should probably retire. Right? Then it's probably over. Because I think when you get into the cage, and Darren Till, he said this too, and at the stare down with Wonder Boy, and I'll never forget this too. That fight for me was so awesome, because I'm a huge Wonder Boy fan, but I'm also a huge Till fan. And that fight, like, Till's attitude going into that was 100% awesome. And when he said they did the stare down, and then they asked him after, he goes, this is going to be a good fight, fellas. He said, I looked him in his eyes, and there was no fear. And when you can recognize and understand that as another fighter, and you also have no fear, those are two badasses going at it, and it's going to be an awesome fight. It makes my heart race when I think about that, like that Viking mentality. He's like, there is no fear here between either people, and we're going to go out and give everything we have right now. And it's a beautiful thing. And so who do you think? Till. I don't think Whittaker. Now, I think Whittaker could beat Till. Just not. I just don't think mentally. I think before the Izzy fight, you put Till against Whittaker, he's going to smash him. Because mentally, right? He's there, he's a champion, he's ready to go, he's ready to fight, he's scary, people are afraid of him. Maybe Till's a little nervous. Till's like, I'm going to go put this baby boy down. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm going to go put him to sleep and put it over with. And I think Till's just, they call him the gorilla, man. I think this dude is just going to go out and maul him, smash him, and punch him in the face a lot, and I'm very excited for it. So we got Till, right?
Right on.
And so next up is Hua versus Noguera, and Mauricio Hua, Shogun Hua, and then Noguera. Which let's talk about this fight, right? Hua's 38 and Noguera is 44.
Couple old men just kind of punching each other now.
Couple old guys, and rightfully so, right? Both legends, right?
In their own respects. And
for some reason, I feel like I'm watching a Bellator fight, right? Like it's all the people that left the UFC, but these guys. First of all, Big Nog. I think what was his last fight?
In 2019.
And they both are coming off of a split decision. Yeah, but that could be a loss.
Knockout.
They're both coming off of something crazy. I don't know what that split decision won, whether he won or lost, but crazy. I mean, this fight's going to be good because it's like nostalgia. right? It's a cool nostalgia fight. It's a really great fight. They're both warriors. They're both going to go in there and put on a great fight. So we at least, in great co-main event, right? I mean, you got two legends fighting it out, and these guys. I mean, it's really tough to say who would win this fight, right?
Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Or no, George Foreman.
George Foreman, or even Evander Holyfield, right?
No.
Yeah. But this is gonna be awesome, right? So this is gonna be a great fight. And to be honest, I got big Nog, man, because I'm a Nog fan. I love this fight. If you're looking at record wise, so who has got 26, 11 losses and 1 draw, which I think is probably that. Could be that split decision, and then Noguera's got 23 and 9, right? Yeah, 23 wins, 9 losses. So the experience for both of them. Now, this is the thing. If you look at this, Noguera though just came off of a TKO. So basically, that means where the ref stops it, where they get knocked down and somebody's punching, the ref's like, no.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think Shogun's gonna go in for the kill, man.
That's intense. I think that so we're split on here. Yeah. I think that Nog is an older guy, and actually I kind of want to say Shogun because you know what, I'm switching, and I do love Nog, and I like him over Shogun.
Don't get me wrong, yeah.
But I just think that Nog's 44 and he's just got knocked out his last fight, and that was only a year ago.
Listen, he's 44. He's also 6'2".
How much can your brain take when you're 44?
Your brain, everything.
So we're going Hua.
Hua.
I'm with you on that.
Hua.
Now this is man, I just feel so bad for Gustafsson. He's like the black sheep of he deserves to win so bad because he's such a great fighter. And he's coming in now at a heavier weight, right? He's fighting at 205. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I think he's coming in at 220, something like that. I think he's going up a weight class.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's fighting at 220 or something.
How he was fighting at 230 that.
I think I think he moved up in weight class. I know he moved up in weight class.
Right.
And so I think maybe without a thing is though, because he's a really tall guy, 6'5". 6'5", and before he's making 200 pounds, so 205, whatever. But he is such a big, tall guy and has so much range. I mean, you saw it when he faced John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he pretty much almost beat John Jones, right? Almost, right? And I'm a Jones fan. I've lost a little bit of respect for Jones, but I've been noticing his thing. He's kind of staying off the radar. I think he needs to fight.
That's what he needs to do.
He needs to fight Reyes. And I think he's running from him in a way. I think he's running from Reyes. I don't like Reyes at all. I think he looks like a doofus, and I have a hard time looking at his face. So that for me makes it hard to watch him fight. Because I just have a thing with people's faces. Like, if I don't like your face, then it just ruins everything. It's like the Twilight girl. Who's the girl? Kristen Stewart or whatever?
Yeah, what's her name? Yeah.
God, I hate that girl. And she could be a great actor. She could be in the greatest movie ever, and I see her face, and I'm like, I just want to punch you. And
what, you mean the emotionless husky?
Yeah. So he's fighting Verdum. And Fabricio Verdum is also a boss and a legend, right? I mean,
yeah.
And he's coming back. I think Verdum's coming back for this because he just lost. Oh yeah, he lost against Olenek, which Olenek, man, is a monster, right? He's an awesome person to watch fight. Love that guy. And Gustafsson lost to Anthony Smith, and both of these guys' last losses are the killers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't.
There's no disrespect to any of
Yeah,
their
I mean, they both are great fighters. They've been in there with the best of the best. They have great fight experience and knowledge. And I'm going to have to go with my dog, Gustafsson. He's younger, and I think that Gustafsson is elite in his striking. I think he's just an elite fighter. I mean, anybody that can do what he did to John Jones, I'll pick him all day. So, and to be honest, I got Gustafsson. You got Verdum?
I got Verdum just because.
You think he's going to knock him out, don't
mainly
you?
because, no, I think he's probably going to submit him.
Okay.
Just because Alexander has not fought at 220 or 230 before, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's not used to fighting at that weight with this veteran fighter.
Now let me ask you though. He doesn't have to cut weight anymore. You take away that whole stress, all that anxiety and stress.
I think just because of the weight thing, that's what's gonna mess him up, and that's what's gonna.
He's gonna be at his natural body weight.
At 220 or 225.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, easy. There's no way Gustafsson is 200 pounds. There's no way. There's no way, dude. How tall are you? 6'2"?
I'm 6'1.5".
6'1", right?
Yeah,
so that in 200 pounds is like big for you. It's like if you exercise hard, you're gonna be bigger, right? So this guy's like 6'5". You know what I mean? 200 pounds is like a skinny 6'5".
I understand. That's my feeling for it, and I think.
All right.
I know there's a 10-year difference between these two.
Yeah.
And I get that, the young bucks coming in to take out the old guy, but
2-inch reach advantage. It's gonna be a good fight.
I'm just gonna say, fight experience wise, I think Verdum's gonna get it.
All right. Well, I'm going Gustafsson. You're going Verdum.
Yep.
I think Gustafsson's gonna piece him up like a little baby. But so.
We can all dream.
Yeah, now this is going to be a great fight too. Carlo Esperanza, is that how you say it? Esperanza is Mariana Rodriguez. I can't read.
You couldn't even read Rodriguez.
So Mariana. So they're both coming off a win. I like Carla Esperanza, however you say her name. I'm a fan. I like her. I think she's a good fighter.
Got a 3-win fight streak.
Yep.
I mean, like.
So I mean, and this other girl, I've actually never even noticed her. And to be honest, she's 12-0 with 2 draws. So obviously, this girl knows how to fight, right? She hasn't knocked anybody out. Carla Esperanza has submitted somebody, which is, I mean, her takedowns are nasty.
There's
right?
a 5-inch difference between these
women.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a fight. This is gonna be, I mean, the reach advantage, but her reach is, it's all legs.
It's all just legs, but her significant strikes is twice as many as Carla.
Yeah.
So,
it's gonna be
no takedown. She's obviously a striker and a kicker.
She's gonna submit her. I think Carla's, she's gonna submit her. That's my goal. Carla, right there. Boom. That's who I'm hitting it. I think she's going to submit her.
I'm going to hope that she submits her, but at the same time...
You're going to go with 12-0? That's a safe bet.
I mean, that's a really safe bet. But at the same time, anybody can have their first loss.
Yeah.
And that's statistically, you should be having your first loss somewhere around here.
Yeah. That's funny because it's like, Carla's like, I'm on a 3-fight win streak, and she's like, bitch, I'm on a 12-fight win streak. It's like, okay, I'll shut up now. So, who you going?
Marina.
Okay, I'm going Carla.
Marina.
So, we're split on that.
We're split for the last 2 fights.
Last 2 so far.
Okay, this is going to be fun.
Yep.
Hey, make a drinking game or bets with your friends.
So...
Give us a piece, though.
So, man, this is something else, right? 6'3", 5'11", reach advantage, 76 inches versus 70. It's a 6-inch reach.
This really isn't even a
This
contest.
guy, and you know what the scary thing is Paul Craig. Oh, sorry. So the next fight is Paul Craig versus Gada Zamora Antigula. I don't know how to say that, but this guy's clearly scary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is he taking off?
Antigula.
And the other person that he just fought, so he just. That's the split decision for Hua right there.
Yep.
That's that one. I'm going Paul Craig just based on size and in the stats here. Paul Craig literally beats him everywhere.
Well, I mean,
there isn't a place that he doesn't beat him. Oh,
there is
takedowns.
If he gets him to the ground, we've seen Paul Craig already take a beating on the ground.
That's true. And you know what is Paul Craig? with being so much taller, if he does get taken down, that length will not help him. Yeah, if anything, it'll hurt him.
That's less leverage that he can have.
Yeah,
so I don't think Paul Craig's gonna win this one, man.
I'm going Paul Craig though, because I like to see this really. I think this is like watching a midget fight. You know what I mean? Like the size difference is gonna be definitely significant.
No, I'm thinking Antigulov, or however you say that. Please correct me.
All right, so I'm going. That's three for three. Right
Three
there.
Split decisions already.
I'm going Craig. You're going the other one. Man. So next up is Oliveira. Alex Oliveira, which this guy is, right? Like, Oliveira's a monster. So there's no doubt about that. The dude's a monster. He's a great fighter. 20-8. I mean, he's a G. So it's Alex Oliveira versus Peter Sobota. And why does my phone keep doing that? It's because it's about to die.
Yeah.
He lost to Leon Edwards, which is no shame there, considering Leon Edwards is the guy that technically should be facing Usman. So these are all this fight's gonna be phenomenal. I mean, Oliveira's gonna beat him. It's hands down. I mean, Oliveira's gonna beat him because this is the thing. I would say Oliveira's gonna knock him out. I mean, because if you look at statistics, Oliveira beats him in all aspects.
Wins by KO.
He's even shorter and has a longer reach. I mean, he's gonna win the fight. He's a monster.
I can't make any arguments to that.
He's a monster. I mean, there really isn't. I don't know much about this Peter Sobota guy. I've seen him fight. I saw the Leon Edwards fight, and I don't think that he can hang with Alex Oliveira. I think because Oliveira, man, you look in that ring.
Different level. That's a different level. I don't think it was a well-matched fight, to be honest with you.
Oh, this guy.
My gosh. He's actually got another fight?
So, yeah. So, I was going to say, yeah. So, I don't know who. It says that he's fighting Ray's Mackey or whatever. I don't know what the deal is on this fight because it's not saying. I know that he's fighting somebody. He stepped in.
What's his name?
Who?
The
Kamazat Shimea. I don't know. He's another Dagestani dude. But
this guy is crazy.
He's awesome.
He's
awesome.
Crazy cool.
I loved watching his last fight. I got very excited about that, and in the fact that he took a fight on a week. I mean, literally, he fought last week. He fought on Saturday. Last Saturday, he fought.
Back-to-back fights, man.
And he was on. This guy was on I think he was not on the undercard. I think he was in the same spot. That's two main. He's done two main cards back to back.
Definitely an up and comer.
You know what I mean? He took 0 damage, and I think he's going down in a weight class.
Oh, he's fighting at 170.
I think he fought.
I thought he fought at 180.
I think he fought at 185. 185, and then they were like, "Hey, we need somebody." He's like, "Oh, I'll go down." And he actually, he is a 170 pounder. That's what he is.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But he fought at 180, and that was.
I think he fought 185 or. It's either that or 155, but I'm pretty sure he fought at 185.
Either way, dude's a beast.
If
you catch this fight, let it be the first and only fight you catch during the night.
Yeah, he's the first fight of the main card, so I'm super excited about this. The fights are going to be on ESPN Plus. Pretty sure you don't have to buy the pay-per-view, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. And always love it's not a free fight, but it's less than $70 fight.
An included fight.
Yeah. So, get your Disney Plus subscription and get the triple package. I don't know what to tell you. But man, these fights are going to be great. And I didn't look at the undercard yet. Mm-hmm. But the prelims, but I'm sure it's going to be killer. And then next week we're going to be talking to you. First of all, Till, go out and put that work in, dog.
Yeah, man.
Go put that work in, and because I'm counting on you. And not really, but I don't bet. But if I did, I would expect you to win.
Bet on you.
Yeah, because you're awesome, dude. Win or loss, you're a true warrior. So we're glad to be able to talk about your fights.
Heck yeah.
And after this, we have UFC 252.
Oh yeah.
Which is DC versus Stipe, baby. Yeah. Okay. And then after that, the card that was supposed to be Khabib versus what's his name? Gagey? Justin Gagey?
Yep.
I can't believe I forgot that. That was supposed to happen, but obviously because of Khabib's father and all that, Khabib is not going to fight, and totally understandable when your dad's your coach and all that, and then he passes, and due to Corona and everything else, and so I'm sure that fight probably won't happen for at least a year, maybe. I mean, it's going to take, if he even comes back, you know.
He's got to take his time.
That's a lot. Thing. That's a hard thing when your dad is your best friend, your coach, your, you know, and I was watching a thing, and it made me go back, because the DC and Helwani show, DC was saying that if you watch, and I had to go back and watch it because I was like, okay, and it actually made me cry. Like, I cried because it's like, now I know what happened to his dad, so it's like, it's even worse, right? So I'm like watching it, and after Khabib beat Dustin Poirier, right? So the fight after the McGregor fight, and Poirier came in, and I was actually, not gonna lie, I was hoping for Poirier because I'm a huge Poirier fan.
Oh yeah.
Right, so I was hoping Poirier would have done the job.
Yeah.
And he did a great job, but there was a moment when Khabib had him against the fence, and you could see Poirier looking at his corner like, I can't do anything. Like, there's like nothing I can do. It's like I'm doing everything I can and I can't get up. So congrats to Khabib, but when he beat him, they pan over to Khabib's dad.
Yeah.
And the way that DC said it was like, and then I saw it, I was like, and that's what made me cry, is because DC already saw the moment, but it's like, he is his coach, he's his dad, he's his his best friend, he's also could be one of the greatest coaches considering how all these Dagestani Russians are coming in and crushing everybody, right? So he could have been one of the greatest MMA coaches ever / wrestling coaches ever in history. And that moment when he looked at his son with his hand up, that probably was huge. He looked like everything that he ever tried to do in life. Nothing mattered at that moment, but he was so proud, and that was the coolest thing to look at. That he made me cry, man. I'm sorry, but he was just so proud of him. He was like, you know, and to go out there and fight, and to like watch your son put his life on the line. And he went out there and he put in work. I mean, he put on a masterpiece of a performance too. It's not like, oh, it was this crazy close fight. No, he showed Dustin Poirier that he was the true champion.
He did work.
And it all was because of his father.
He did a good job.
So, and he basically, he made him proud. And that was super cool to watch and to go back and watch. So, if you guys get the chance, go back and watch that moment, and then you'll understand why Khabib isn't fighting at the end of August or middle August, whatever, or September, whatever the fight was. But because of events happening, we get blessed with Paulo Costa versus Izzy Adesanya. The Eraser versus Stylebender. I am so amped for that fight too. And we will be doing we might even have to do just one podcast via my excitement.
Just for that.
Just for that fight. Yes. I'm also super amped on the Stipe and DC fight.
Yeah, that's cool too, but
I'm an Izzy fan, and I'm a fan of both of those guys, but it's going to be an awesome fight. All the fights coming up are great fights, so tune in. We're going to have more of these. Do you have anything else to comment on?
I would just like to say thank you guys for supporting us, and I hope you enjoy everything that you've watched and listened to. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll bring more content to you. You just gotta let us know you like it.
Hit that little bell.
Yeah, that bell.
Hit that bell,
is kind of important. Let you know when we got new videos out.
Yes.
Make sure it's set to all.
And if you don't have time to go through all these stats and to go through everything, it's pretty easy to just sit and listen to us talk trash about it. And at least you get our opinions. But hopefully, we can bring some knowledge. I just have this huge database of I can't even remember what I did yesterday, but I have so many fights in my head. Like I even sometimes when I go to sleep, I dream about fights, and I even had a dream about people. Like I'll have dreams about, oh well, if this guy, I'll put my own super fights together in my head and have dreams about them fighting. So I love fights.
That's how much time he spends on people, so you know it's 100%. Real.
And you can even ask him. All I do is watch anime and UFC
every day.
That's it, and all other kinds of things. And we're also going to be on the next podcast. We're going to be talking jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking some serious jiu-jitsu because there's been a few upsets in the jiu-jitsu world, and
it's important.
I'm down to talk about it. Yeah. So it's going to be exciting. Maybe we'll have another person in here to talk about jiu-jitsu with us, but it'll be super dope. So thank you guys. We love you, and if you don't click that box, I'm going to come for you.
We'll find you.
Yep.
Bye.